It's okay. Is that recording?
It just needs to see us. So Professor Nina knows that we're here.
Okay.
Okay.
Just poke in a little bit and then be like, I was there.
Is it recording?
Yeah.
Oh.
So sorry for the technical difficulties. The HDMI on this TV is acting up. So unfortunately we're gonna have to use a computer screen. It's a little small, but you'll eventually get our slides so you'll be able to look at them. So we're gonna be talking about how not to do Littlefield today. My name is Ishu.
I'm Cody,
I'm the Lux.
I'm Brian.
and we are Team Mamba.
And the reason why I say how not to do Littlefield is because, as you can tell by looking at this graphic right here, that we placed second to last, or 12th place. We're going to go into further details as to why that happened. But I mean, at one point we were in 7th place, but we'll share the mistakes we made and how we corrected it towards the end.
Alright, here's our year one decision and mistakes. We decided to buy machines as soon as we could, which was the best decision we made over the whole process. But we ended up buying too many machines. Buying machines on station 2 and 3 was unneeded cost, which held us back, and we didn't follow Littlefield as closely as we should have, and that led us not acting and fixing our mistakes.
Thanks, Bad Books. Now for year two, one thing we did do right was purchase the right amount of machines. We purchased 4 in Station 1, 2 in Station 2, and 2 in Station 3. The main issue and main fault is we didn't really pay much attention to the reorder point as deeply as we should have. We had it at 360 and then we only doubled it to 720, and we found out later that reorder points were supposed to be much higher, like 5,000 to 6,000 range. That really hurt our revenue and dropped us way down. One thing we did do right is we recognized to swap the contract from 2 to 3 in like the middle of the game. It's just our reorder point was so low that it didn't make an impact, because going from 2 to 3 you can make more revenue via the contract, but having such a low reorder point held us back.
So, but I mean, in reality, like in the beginning, in the first year, we had about one too many machines, but towards the end of the game, we had the right amount of machines ultimately, and we acted just a little slower than we should have on switching from contract 1, 2 to 3.
And you can see, I mean, you guys can't see it right now, but the main changes we did is at the beginning we bought the machines, then we switched our contract number from 2 to 3. And then when we got to changing our reorder point, we doubled that, but then we also made the mistake of increasing our reorder quantity without increasing our reorder point a lot. So that ended up making our lead time longer, because now there's more quantity for it to get through, and then it's just taking more time. So we really were just kicking ourselves with that one. It just was pointless. But you can see that sort of in these graphs. With the lead time down here, it starts to increase in the green section, and it went from like 2 to 3 days to like 4, and it was definitely not ideal. And we were able to get the revenue up with contract 3, but we still weren't reaching what we probably could have if we had focused on the reorder point more. Going into the year 2 data, we can see that our average daily demand was 13 jobs per day with a lead time of 3. We found the standard deviation of our daily demand to be 3.491, and then the standard deviation of our lead time to be 2.371. And then calculating our safety stock, we used a 95% service level, and found that our reorder point should be around 4,951 based off our data from all of session 2. And that comes out to about 5,000 reorder point, which would have been significantly more successful than the 750 we ended up doing.
And now the reason why we think we should be front runners for year 3 contract is, well, simply put, what better way to learn than from your own mistakes? We made a lot of mistakes, some of them being we were too slow to communicate. We had a decent amount of communication, but we were kind of slow to react to what we knew was kind of going on. We also didn't really do a good job during the simulation of forecasting our demand, or even trying to figure out how we should plan going into the next rounds. You know, we were all kind of flustered by the simulation as to how it works, so it was all just kind of a learning curve in the first 2 years. But like I said, what better way to learn than from your own mistakes? So that's why we believe that from our mistakes, we're definitely willing to embrace any new strategy moving into year 3.
And as one of the lowest teams, we have definitely one of the largest rooms for improvement, which can be a positive thing. And we will definitely be very eager to do that in year 3. Moving on to audience engagement questions.
And so we actually, got 5 questions. We're not gonna show you the answers just yet. We would appreciate if you guys got on a piece of paper and try to answer these 5 questions.
Which we can provide for you. And there's a special reward at the end for the person out of you 4 that gets the most right. So I can grab out some paper for you real quick.
Can we just write on our phones?
Oh yeah,
That's an idea.
great idea, very unique. So yeah, the first question we got is, when we first changed our kits in year 2, what number did we change it to, or by what amount did we change it by?
For question 2, how many total machines did we have in year 2?
So this would be the total, not necessarily how much we bought. So if you add together the amounts on each machine.
On each station.
Yeah.
So the total, you said, or?
Yeah, the total.
For all 3 stations, right?
Question 3, was our average daily demand greater or less than 15 jobs per day during year 2?
Now for question 4, what place did we get overall after round 2? And question 5, what was our biggest mistake?
So we'll give you guys a moment to think over those. If you have any questions or have trouble reading the screen, we can read those off to you again. But once we're all ready, we'll go over those.
And after we're done going through them, just tally up how many of the 5 you got right, and whoever got the most right, will get the surprise at the end.
Okay.
Can we just shout them out?
Perfect. What did you guys get for the first one?
9,000.
420.
Oh, I got
Oh, reorder point. I thought 760.
I put 60.
Correct answer is 720.
I
So
was close.
I'll give you that. You were really close. So you get a point.
I got the 20.
I had 60.
For question 2, how many total machines do we have?
6.
6.
I said 8.
8 is correct. You get a
Oh,
point.
Oh, cool.
Now it's close race, 1 to 1.
Oh.
What was our average daily demand? Was it greater or less than 15 jobs in year 2?
Less than.
I think it was less.
Less
Let's
is
say-
correct.
It's 13.
So
I gotta do the-
you 3 get a point.
Let's say the other
Yeah.
2, 2,
chance to
1.
win.
What place did we get overall after round 2?
12.
Second to last. 12.
Everyone correct. Everyone gets a point there.
Oh.
So now it's going to come down to this last question. What would you say our biggest mistake
Learning
was?
curve and
Reorder point.
Reorder points.
Reorder points.
And too many machines. Not constantly monitoring.
And then
Perfect. Those are all
Planning.
excellent answers.
There was actually multiple answers to that.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, that would be, I think it was 3 for you, and for you. Yeah, we'll figure out the order.
Everyone won.
Oh, you got 4.
Everyone's a winner.
I guess we have 4 winners then. So yeah,
Oh, hell yeah.
thank you all for coming to our presentation.